Here's more wrestling news for October 19th, 2022. And we're starting off with AEW as MJF and William Regal met during last night's Title Tuesday edition of Dynamite for an intense promo battle. Regal went in expecting a fight, bringing his brass knuckles with him, but MJF insisted he was there to talk and brought up his own time doing extras work in WWE. Several people, including Pat Buck, Arn Anderson, and WWE's Adam Pearce were name-dropped, as MJF made it clear that he wasn't just fighting for a contract, but fighting for his professional life. MJF went even further, saying that Regal promised him a WWE job but later backed down, and was on the verge of tears when accusing Regal of mocking his mother. Claiming the British legend had sneaked his way into AEW, the Salt of the Earth held nothing back, but neither did Regal. In his retort, Regal called out MJF, saying he has talent but a long way to go, and chided the casino chip holder for his attack on Tony Schiavone last month. In the end, the pair did not come to blows, but Regal did leave Friedman speechless, which is a victory in itself. Fans were quick to respond on social media, with many calling the segment a Promo of the Year contender, and said that the genuine emotions on display are what professional wrestling is all about. Whether this promo leads to MJF becoming AEW World Champion at Full Gear, that remains to be seen, but it is another impressive segment by the young wrestler who has once again had everyone talking. Both men showed off excellent promo skills, but what did you think of the segment? Sound off in the comments. When Karl Anderson returned to WWE last week, there were questions about his status with New Japan, as he is the promotion's reigning never openweight champion. It was reported not long after that Anderson will still appear at the New Japan Battle Autumn event on November 5th in a very rare non-WWE appearance by a superstar. During last night's NXT, WWE continued to take a step through the forbidden door, as during his entrance, Vic Joseph noted that Anderson is still a champion in Japan. Sure, Joseph didn't name what title he holds or who he is a champion for, but the fact that WWE are willing to address life outside their company is huge. Anderson was on last night's NXT alongside Luke Gallows as the duo teamed with Cameron Grimes to face the Schism. Right now, Anderson is scheduled to pull double duty on November 5th, as he is also set to compete at Crown Jewel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and time will tell if he will be able to pull off both matches. Speaking of returning superstars, fans are eager to see Becky Lynch back in the ring, as a shoulder injury suffered at SummerSlam has kept her away. Last month, it was reported that Lynch would be returning to the ring in September, but that of course didn't happen, and now we have an update about the man. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reports that despite the previous reports, WWE never had Lynch scheduled for a September return, and that we are still months away from the former women's champion being back on TV. While Lynch won't be appearing soon, sources within WWE did say that they are hopeful she will be back before the end of this year, but that no official timeline has been given. WWE's reported plans for WrestleMania 39 is for Lynch to finally face Ronda Rousey one-on-one, a match that has been years in the making, but that all hinges on big-time Bex being healed in time. Lynch has been out of action for months now due to the separated shoulder she suffered at SummerSlam, and while nothing is guaranteed as to when she'll be back, there is some good news for the former Raw Women's Champion. Appearing at the Advertising Week event in New York City, Lynch was in the Big Apple without her arm brace, the first time we've seen her without it since the SummerSlam injury. From all appearances, Lynch is healing well, and it's a good sign that she can still make appearances for WWE despite her injury. Fortunately, Lynch was able to avoid undergoing surgery for her shoulder, which would have pushed her return to sometime next year, and we're wishing the man a speedy recovery. Last Sunday, Deadline reported that the G4 TV gaming network was closing down, and for many involved, they only found out through social media. As a huge gamer and a WWE superstar, Xavier Woods was one of the focal points of G4 TV's content, and he too wasn't informed ahead of time about the cancellation. During a Twitch stream hosted by The Completionist, Woods explained that he had logged into the Wi-Fi during a flight, and as soon as he was connected, he was bombarded with messages about what had happened. Woods said how he had 3 hours to just sit and stew on the bad news, and later questioned why those at Comcast who made the decision didn't tell him what was coming before they closed G4 TV down. The WWE superstar concluded by saying that those who are out of a job should treat it like being released from WWE and use this as an opportunity to show why those at Comcast made a mistake, and we're sure that Woods' days of playing games for content are far from over. On last week's SmackDown, OMOS and MVP made an appearance on the blue brand, and the Nigerian Giant stared down Braun Strowman. It's been reported that a match at Crown Jewel between them is in the works, but we now have news regarding OMOS's roster status. PW Insider reports that despite appearing on SmackDown, OMOS is not exclusively a member of the blue brand, remaining a part of the Raw roster for the time being. With that said, the former Raw Tag Team Champion is expected to make appearances on both Raw and SmackDown in the build-up to the Saudi show on November 5th. Raw is the only brand OMOS has officially been on, where he's feuded with his former teammate AJ Styles as well as Bobby Lashley, but fans will see more of the 7-footer on both brands for the next couple of weeks. It was during AEW's first Dynamite in Canada that Renee Paquette made her debut, something that fans have been hoping to see since her departure from WWE in 2020. Not just a talented broadcaster, Paquette is also the wife of Jon Moxley, though as she made clear on her podcast The Sessions, Renee's hiring was down to her talents and not who she's married to. In an interview with Cincy 360, Moxley shared his excitement about Paquette's arrival in AEW and was confident she'd do well on her first night. "I knew she was going to get a giant pop from the crowd, that was really cool. But she's been around the whole time basically, and she knows people at AEW and she's been backstage and everything." Moxley joked that Paquette was such a regular backstage that people were surprised that she didn't work there, and said that signing with Khan felt like a formality. WWE did make an effort to re-sign Paquette as part of recent commentary and interviewer changes, but Paquette turned them down in favor of AEW, a decision that has worked out well for the Canadian broadcaster. For decades, Kevin Nash put opponents away with his jackknife powerbomb, laying out stars including The Undertaker, Chris Jericho, and even the 7-foot Paul White. Nash may be the master of the jackknife, but he doesn't have as much luck with real knives, according to the man himself. In 2004, Nash appeared as the Russian in Marvel's The Punisher film and had an intense fight scene with the Punisher himself, played by Thomas Jane. Speaking on The Rich Eisen Show, Nash explained that for part of the fight, Jane was supposed to stab him with a prop knife, but that the stunt coordinator forgot to change the real blade for a fake. What followed was Nash getting a very real knife plunged into his shoulder in what Big Daddy Cool played down as a bad day shooting the movie. Thankfully, Nash's injury was minor as he was able to continue his wrestling career and acting career after shooting the movie, but it goes to show that wrestling isn't the only dangerous profession for Big Daddy Cool. It was at Extreme Rules 2022 that Ronda Rousey captured the SmackDown Women's Championship, taking the title off of Liv Morgan. Rather than tap out, Morgan passed out in a submission by the former UFC fighter, but only after smiling in the hold before losing the title. The image of Morgan grinning in the hold quickly went viral on social media, and during a vlog, Rousey suggested that the former champion may be into it. Let's be honest, a lot of people would be smiling in that position. It was kinda handy that there was a broken table right there that I could grab and grind into her neck. But yeah, apparently she's into that kind of thing. Interestingly, Morgan herself has said that her feud with Rousey has brought out her inner masochist, so there may be some truth to the champion's claims. As for what's next, it was rumored that Morgan could be part of the rumored Bray Wyatt stable, but the former women's champion may very much enjoy another showdown with Ronda Rousey. Since announcing his purchase of Ring of Honor during a March episode of AEW Dynamite, Tony Khan has put on 2 ROH shows, Supercard of Honor in April and Death Before Dishonor in July. While ROH stars and championships also appear on AEW programming, a TV deal continues to elude Khan, something the company president is hoping to change very soon. Speaking to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, Khan addressed a future TV deal and promised some great news in the near future. Khan added that the current plan is for Ring of Honor to have one more pay-per-view in 2022 and that a weekly show should begin airing in 2023. Some have suggested that Khan making Chris Jericho the ROH World Champion is part of his plans to earn a TV deal, as it was Jericho who played a role in Dynamite getting their original deal with TNT. Khan is believed to have paid between $20 to $40 million to purchase Ring of Honor, and after investing a small fortune, the AEW founder will need to score a deal sooner rather than later. And we're ending today with Triple H, who recently tested positive and didn't make this week's Raw or last night's NXT. The game has been self-isolating since testing positive, but things are good for the WWE's head of talent relations. Fightful Select reports that Triple H is doing fine after testing positive, but didn't specify if he will be back in time for this Friday's SmackDown on Fox. The report adds that Road Dogg has been running the shows in his absence, though that much of Raw had already been finalized on Sunday evening before news broke of Triple H's positive result. The game's positive test is bad for WWE, but the company is moving forward, and we're wishing him a full recovery. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.